So I just want to cover a few accessories for wood burning that might help you as you're burning. First thing you want to do is maybe have some sandpaper around. I like to use these sandpaper sponges. These come in handy when you're transferring your stencils. If you're using like a carbon paper or graphite, they're a little bit harder to erase with just a regular eraser. So these are handy to keep on you so that you can kind of remove any of those marks quickly. It's also handy to kind of knock any of that carbon buildup off of your tips. The other thing that's handy to have is maybe some masking tape. If you want to create a border, this is a good way to kind of tape off some sections of your wood and maybe draw some outlines and stuff like that, just so you can get some nice crisp edges. You can also use a ruler. I like to use a metal ruler. That way, if I want to burn a straight line, I can just burn right down the side, and it helps me get a nice crisp, clean edge. Okay, so this is, I always have this on handy. This is my carbon paper. Some people call it graphite paper. And this is what I use to transfer my templates and stencils to the wood. So I've got some templates printed out for our projects that we're going to be doing later. And this is what I'm going to use to transfer. So we're going to tape these templates to the wood, put a little bit of this carbon paper underneath, and then I'm going to trace over my template so that our image transfers to the wood. So it's handy to have that around. Okay, another couple of things to have on hand is erasers. So I've got two different ones here. I've got just a plain white one, and this is a sand eraser. It really acts a lot more like sandpaper, so this is good to have around for removing those carbon marks too. It's a little bit smaller than sandpaper, especially these like little sponges. So it helps you kind of get into those smaller details. If you make any accidental marks with your carbon paper, this sand eraser is great to have on hand to kind of remove those. So at the end of every project, you're going to want to finish it with some sort of varnish or some sort of sealant. You don't want moisture getting into the wood and warping it, or having the wood fade over time or change color and damage the overall look of your burn. So there are a couple of things I like to keep on hand. This UV resistant clear coat. This is going to help reduce some of that UV ray damage. And Danish oil is also nice to have on hand. I like Danish oil because it's just so easy to use. You just wipe it on and go, and it dries quickly, and it's just super easy on the wood. So one of my favorite ways to add color is watercolor pencils. These are water soluble, so once you just kind of color on the wood with them a little bit, and then you can use water, get a brush, and kind of blend some of those colors together. This is one of the best ways to me to add color to your pieces. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that later in one of our projects. You can also use pre-made stencils. You can find these like at your craft store, like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. You can buy, these are just the plastic ones. You can just kind of place these on the wood, tape them, so that they're secure, and then use your pencil to kind of draw out the different shapes. And there's so many of these. It really kind of helps add pattern and different textures and stuff to your overall burns. So if ever you want to upgrade from using the Chandler Tool, which is more of a craft burner, you can upgrade to a wire tip burner, which I have an example of that here. This is the Coldwood brand, and it works a little bit differently. Just slide your tips in like this, and all of the tips have this sort of wire tip function on it. These get really hot really quickly, they cool down really quickly, and as you can see, they have just a ton of different tip options to offer you. So this is maybe something to consider if you've been burning for a long time and you want to do an upgrade.